when we talk about not taking anything personally, what are we really saying? We're saying that anything that somebody else does or anything that happens as far as a result or a circumstance or something in our environment has absolutely nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with us. If I can stand back, well, let me back up a little bit. If I can get up in the morning and I can head into my day with this awareness, people are going to do things that traditionally piss people off to me today. So what I'm basically saying is I am not going to expect something different from somebody who's operating from a story, especially when I know that they're operating from a story. That, because we call that foolishness, right? But unfortunately, so many people do this. What ends up happening is we start to see things different, and we automatically expect other people to behave different because we're changing. It's a weird thing that we do. And when they don't, we get hurt. I literally had somebody reach out to me an hour ago, and they were telling me about this trip that they did, and they were in contact with their family, and everything went great. And on the way home from the trip, the family did something that just totally fucked them up. And my response was, you know that this is how they behave. Why are you setting yourself up for a different expectation when it's not possible? They haven't changed. We do this as a way to stay in our own story. If I keep expecting you to change, but you're not doing anything in your life to change, but I expect a different response or a result from you, I'm self-sabotaging in that moment. I'm going into denial. I'm going into self-sabotage. I'm setting myself up for failure, because when somebody shows you who they are, you have to believe them the first time. If they have a chronic way of showing up in the world where they intentionally hurt people, or they gaslight you, or they talk behind your back, or they don't keep their word, or whatever it is that they do, and whether this is in your family or it's not in your family, to expect something different from these people without the conscious recognition on their part of their own story, and then them going into some kind of a process to learn, adapt, and grow to what's going on, it's just complete, utter foolishness on our part. And we use it as a way of sabotaging. So let's really think here. The conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the body. The conscious mind can think. The subconscious mind cannot think. It can only accept. It cannot reject. Now, are you looking at this as if you're looking at somebody else? Because that's where you should be. You should not be looking at yourself today. This is somebody else. So this is what we know about somebody else. If I'm going into a communication with anybody I'm in relationship with, my conscious mind should say, okay, they're coming from the thinking mind. They also have the subconscious mind, which is the emotional mind, and it is the story mind. They also have results, circumstances, and an environment. And in their environment, they have people, places, and things. Who is this? This is somebody else. This is not you. So when they're interacting with you, what do they want? What does this person want? And you can even take somebody that you've had an interaction with maybe in the last week or so, where they did something where you may have gotten triggered a little bit, right? You can much more easily lead someone, influence them, if you understand what's going on with them without involving yourself in their story. So the idea is, how do I keep myself out of the story? Well, let's look at that. What is it that the person wants? So when you're going to have an interaction with somebody, one of the first things that you should think to yourself is, what is it that they want? What is it that they want? Now remember, we're studying them right now. So don't ask yourself, well, the last time you said I should be clear about what my outcome is. That is studying you, okay? We're studying them. What do they want? Why are they interacting with you? The next piece is, what is your past history with this person? Do you have history with them? What do you know about them? And what has been their level of excellence or value play in the way that they've interacted with you in the past? This is not coming from a place of you judging them. This is coming from a place of being aware of who you're actually dealing with, so that you can stay what? Conscious. Not judgmental, but conscious. Okay? What do they want? Then, what is their story? What is their story? You may not know all of their story, but you'll know some of it based on how you've had an interaction with them before. You can pretty easily look and observe somebody. You could say, okay, so the last time I was around this person, they were rude to, say, wait staff or service staff at a restaurant, or they didn't keep their agreement when they said that they would call me or email me or get back to me. Or I'm finding that it's possible that they're not telling me the truth about something. What are you experiencing based on the character that you have witnessed with this person? Very important question. Why is it such an important question? Because they're telling you who they are. Why do we want to know who they are? So we know how to show up in the situation without being part of what? Their story. I don't want to be part of your story. Now, let's take a look at this. Let's say your interaction with this person is that you're in some way, from a business perspective, you're being influential in their life. Your job is in some way to help solve a problem for them or lead them in a direction. You can't do that if you get sucked into their story. What do they want? Well, they want some kind of a result. That's first and foremost. But we also know this. They want to pull you into their story. Why and how do we know this? Because the part of the story that's in their life is that they maintain the position of how they see themselves in the world. In order to do that, they manipulate everybody that's around them in order to move them into their story. See, if I can put the bait out and I can get you to bite on the bait, and the bait is designed to pull you into my story. Once you bite on that bait and come into my story, I now can manipulate. I have the power to manipulate. Why? Because you believe the story is true. Because you believe the story is true. And that in and of itself is part of the story. That's a danger part of the story. The more you believe that their story is true, the more they can manipulate you based on what their agenda is for their story.
Thanks for listening to the Successful Mind podcast. And if you like what you heard and you want to know more, go to davidnagel.com/free stuff.